Hi, welcome back to Let's Chat. I am your host, Nikki Luciano, and once again, we're joined by Missy, Mason, and sometimes Destiny. Um, what's up with everybody? Mason, why don't you go first and talk about your schooling and what you've accomplished so far with your EMT training?
Yesterday I finished the first half of the program because the way the program works, it's split into two sections. The first section, after that, you test out and become EMR, and then you go.
What is EMR? Tell them.
Emergency medical responder.
Okay.
And then I have this next, so finished that, passed that, whatever, and then now I have this next section to go, and then, well, first week in August I'm done with this program.
And then you'll be a full-fledged EMT?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, you want to check that timer? Thanks. I'm going to talk for a few minutes until he gets back. I'd like to give a shout out to both of my daughters, Missy and Haley, because they both entered the same school, the same college. They're going for medical coding and billing, and they've been pulling amazing scores this whole time. And I have to give them super credit because each of them has, 3 to 4 kids running around the house, and they're walking around like zombies, but they are getting it done. They're juggling school and toddlers and everything else that comes with it. And
pregnancy hormones,
pregnancy and a new puppy, and it's not an easy task. I was going to attempt it, but I thought, no, I don't want to be the one sitting in the corner crying because I can't get my shit done. You know what I'm saying?
Me every night.
No, I would rather be the cheerleader for everybody and have them get their shit
I'll
done.
get my pom-poms.
But no, it's just very rewarding to sit back and watch my kids in action. Watch them. Yeah, that's a struggle.
Just in mental pain.
I had a mental breakdown.
No, I just need to be here and I need to be available. If somebody is like, Mom, I can't do this, take these kids before I put them out in traffic or something like that. I want to be the one to be like, okay, drop them off. I'll watch them for a little while. Not the babies, because I don't do babies anymore.
I'm going to be stuck with the babies. Would have to be so likable.
Baby's
But-
the neediest one right now.
Yeah, well, I don't do babies. I don't have the patience. I don't know if it's because I'm 59 years old and my baby raising days are over, but I'm kind of like when Rosie had puppies. After she was done nursing them, she was like, get the hell away from me or I'll bite your face off,
Well, Derek just wants to be held all the time.
Yeah.
The dog, or the puppy,
Just tape her to a dog.
I'm going to tape her to the dog.
Oh.
Because the dog doesn't know how to play. I don't know how I got a broken puppy.
Everything we get is broken.
Like, I'll throw the ball, she'll run to get it, but then she's got to come running back to me and plow into me to make sure I'm still there. Maverick, all of a sudden, now he's in underwear.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to go up into his room. So,
Huh.
that's...
Interesting. Yeah,
because they were afraid to go up there because they said there was a man up in their room.
Oh, okay.
It talks about the ghost.
There is a man up there. But...
Yeah.
I've got an 8.5-year-old German Shepherd that is regressing and refuses to go outside to go potty out in his kennel run because he's afraid that I'm going to go in the bedroom and play with the cat.
Mm.
So now that I've got the kitten, Poet, Goliath is completely and utterly jealous and won't leave my side.
I think it's a mix of that and he wants to go in there and play with her. He wants
Oh,
to
yeah.
be nosy and sniff
Yeah.
her and
but
So
she
she's
ain't
gonna-
having
she'll
it.
mess
She's a
him
little
up.
she devil. She
Yeah.
will F him up
She does a typical scaredy cat thing where she like jumps in place.
Like on a wrist.
and does that
Aristocats?
spit noise, that pss, 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 you know? Yeah,
Adorable.
And I love
it's
it.
adorable, but I can't afford to have a German Shepherd's eye replaced with a glass eye, you know?
Oh.
And I'm not going to have her declawed just because, you know, the cat messed him up.
Yeah.
Well, okay, since our last podcast, last week's Sundays got
Before you
complete.
get started, Jesse's here. Jesse
Oh.
says hi.
Hi, Jess. So anyway, last Sundays got messed up because everybody in the neighborhood lost power and Wi-Fi. So
And
as
some
far
people's
as,
Wi-Fi is still not working.
yeah,
right.
mine still isn't up to par.
Yeah, it's still spotty.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. Everybody's going to tell me it's part of that whole brownout thing because, oh, the electric companies don't have enough power to give people.
Well, the electric company doesn't even know what's going on. They're like, there's no problem on our end.
Yeah, exactly. But they talked about having brownouts and blackouts
Yeah.
and stuff, you know.
Especially when the weather gets, it's been getting hot.
Yeah, and everybody's
So-
running their air conditioners. And
So that, we usually have that
let's
like
not
every
forget
summer.
those yuppies with their electric cars too, you
Yeah.
know.
But we usually have an outage during a couple times during the summer because it just happens.
So anyway, I decided, you know what? Fate was not allowing those videos to be put on YouTube. So like I told everybody on my Facebook page, if you want to see the videos from 2 weeks ago when we had our weekend outing in Stevens Point and Plover, Wisconsin, and Linwood, just go on my Facebook page, go to my page, and check them out. They're all on there.
Can't we post a link to your Facebook page in case people, I guess they're friends with you, but
Well, for people that aren't, they can friend request me, you
Yeah.
know, Nikki Luciano. Anyways, so I've been doing some research and looking up Wisconsin's most haunted places, Wisconsin's most haunted cemeteries, and urban legends and stuff like that because I want us to take field trips and go to these places, see if we see, hear, or feel any of the things that these people, you know, claim to be true. Kind of like a Mythbuster kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like this weekend, this Sunday, we're not going to be doing Supernatural Sunday. We're going to be doing live videos and streaming them to my Facebook page or pre-recorded, I guess you could say.
yeah.
We're going to shoot some video footage, send it to my Facebook page. You can check it out there.
If we do get something like really spectacular, we could always try to do a live and
Yeah.
what's going on. Like if it's something that's like mind blowing that's going on and we have time to like turn on a live, we can do that or try to do that,
Yeah.
you know. But we'll see.
I mean, I'm game. I'm ready to try all these different things. I wish I were more technology savvy because then I could take care of all this shit and get her done, you know? But let me list some of the places because my Wi-Fi is wonky. My printer isn't printing right now. I can't get my air printers going or nothing. I feel like we're in a third world country
You're in the
without
Stone Age
electric.
or something.
Yeah, without
Chisel it.
my technology, I'm like, what do I do? You know, chisel it in a rock with
Yeah.
a chisel and a hammer. Okay, so I'm gonna list. Don't mind the cat in the background. That's Storm. She acts like she's ignored, but she wouldn't be this fat if she was ignored. I'm going to list some of the names of the places that we're going to go to and some of the things that people claim. There's Nola Cemetery in Park Falls, Wisconsin. Stories say the first person ever buried here was named Nola, and now her spirit haunts the cemetery and all who enter it. The one that we're going to this coming Sunday is LaBelle Cemetery in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. It says the spookiness here surrounds a single grave. The statue of a young girl is said to emit a spirit that floats away to drown in the nearby lake. Others claim that the statue starts emitting blood. The story behind that is there was this like 12, 13-year-old girl, and she committed suicide. She jumped into, she jumped into LaBelle Lake, Lake Lac LaBelle or some shit. And that's how she died. And now the statue of, that's on her monument. The cross, the crucifix on her cemetery is 15 feet tall. And then there's a statue of her. And I guess if you hide around other monuments there in the cemetery, you can see her spirit come out of the statue and walk to the lake and re-drown herself. It's also claimed that the hands on the statue emit blood.
Which I don't understand, what the hand.
I don't understand that either,
Or
because
maybe as she jumped, because people that commit suicide, they regret it as soon as they do it.
yeah,
So if you're jumping, if you're doing whatever, that last second, I guess, from
struggle.
people that have survived suicide attempts, they say that last second, as they do it, they regret everything about it.
yeah.
So maybe she was clambering back, trying to catch herself from falling and caught branches, or I don't know. We'll have to take a tour of the land and find out what the layout is like. I mean, obviously erosion and things like that have happened. Or maybe when she jumped in, she cut her hand on rocks, or...
What would be really interesting is to go to the library or the city hall there and get, the report, the actual official report, and, see what we could find out about it.
That could be something we could do on, Saturday.
But
It's not gonna be open on Sunday.
No. But like we've said before... there's another monument, of some sort. I don't know if it's a headstone or what it is, but if you sit on this particular monument, a ghost supposedly pushes you off. Now, I am normally not one to disrespect or disturb someone's final resting place.
Yeah, I think we're going to put Marie up there because I'm not going to get pushed.
No, I'll do
I'm not going to disrespect.
I volunteer for tribute,
Okay. I'm not going to get pushed, and I don't want them to put a curse on me for you sat on my headstone.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'll do
we know
it.
the little girl's name?
No, we actually don't. The third place that I'd like to go see is the Riverside Cemetery in Appleton, Wisconsin. It says one of the most famous paranormal spots in the state, excuse me, is the grave of Kate Blood at Riverside Cemetery. Legend says that on a full moon, the grave drips blood. Others say the stone of this grave is inexplicably warmer than those nearby. Blood is said to have murdered her family and now haunts the cemetery. Another account claims that she was a witch.
Wasn't it the same name as that one guy?
Yeah, that's what I find ironic. That was, what was his name? Started with a C. Calvin Blood. So one of you want to look that up real quick and see what Calvin Blood's wife's name was.
Well, Destiny knew that information. She found that.
Okay.
But I'm trying to figure out how far away from Stevens Point is Appleton.
I don't know. You can look that up.
I'll look that up now.
I'm going to move on to the next one while we wait for that information.
It says his spouse was Sarah A. Barden Blood.
Okay, what was his daughter's name? Because this is Kate Blood.
Rachel
Oh,
Azora Blood Armand.
oh wow.
Where did we go?
Stevens Point.
Stevens Point.
But wasn't that in Linwood that,
Well, it's only, they're only an
Calvin was?
hour away from each other.
oh, okay.
Hour and 6 minutes, and it's literally like,
Almost a straight shot.
yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as it couldn't be his wife and it couldn't be his daughter because it's a different name.
But I mean, you also have to like
But how it
take it with
even
a
says
grain of salt, like, because what I want to do is like on his tombstone, shouldn't it say like
survived by
or
sometimes.
something? Well, it's a military one, so
Okay.
shouldn't they have some type of information? Or isn't there like some type of like military?
It all depends
site
on the
we can
town
go-
hall. Not all town halls keep, track of who was related to who or whatever.
But shouldn't there be like some type of like military like
Record.
registry, something you could look up online to find out? Like,
I mean, that's one thing that we could check out.
yeah, that'd be.
But didn't
It
it
just seems
say
so
that on that
coincidental.
green sign at the cemetery, it said because of his unique name, the
Yeah.
blood name, the surname. Wait, is that a surname if it's the last name? Okay, last name. We won't get technical here. But if it's that rare, how come all of a sudden now we're
It's
finding
popping it
a
up
Kate blood?
everywhere.
Yeah. And that she was a witch and all
And they're
kinds
only
of
an
shit.
hour away from each other.
Yeah. And his spirit supposedly walks the whole neighborhood down the street and everywhere with a bouquet of flowers looking for his wife's burial plot
Yeah.
or headstone.
It's obvious. Well,
They might
they
have
said
moved
that.
her.
Yeah, because they said that she was buried here,
Uh-huh.
but then her headstone got vandalized
And
broken.
didn't they move her?
But my thing is that guy said that anybody caught vandalizing, destroying property, things like that, they would have to pay for the repairs. Well, how come her headstone hasn't been repaired?
Yeah.
If she is still
Well, that guy
supposedly
was
there.
just 7 shades of creepy in the first place.
Well, that's what I'm
so-
saying. Like, we gotta call out
Okay.
and the information is from History Detectives for that sign.
Yeah.
So that sounds legit.
Yeah. Just like the name of the paranormal investigation team.
Yeah, Stevens Point Paranormal. Oh no, the other one, the one that did the blood one was Paranormal Investigation Team or something like
Yeah.
that.
Pit.
Yeah.
The next one is the Pioneers Rest Cemetery in Canton, Wisconsin. And it says there's a barn directly adjacent to the cemetery that seems to be the center of all the creepy stories. Legend has it that a man killed his family and hung himself in the barn, and the spirits of the family haunt the area. That legend led others to claim that because of its haunted past. The barn has been used for secret rituals by various groups, all looking to summon the dead. That one sounds interesting.
It does.
Canton, how far away is Canton,
About
Wisconsin?
4.5 hours.
Oh, so that's an overnighter.
Yeah. Where was that first one that you were talking about? I didn't
First
get to look that
one?
one up.
Which one?
The first one before the Oconomowoc one.
Oh, okay. All the way back here. That is Park Falls.
Park Falls, Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think that's going to be an overnighter too. If I'm not mistaken, that's up north.
Park Falls is about, almost 5 hours.
Yep. All right.
I'm just looking up locations as you.
And did you look up Canton?
Yeah. What, 2.5 hours, something like that?
Okay.
I forgot now. Before we go any further,
You gotta talk louder. I'm gonna turn this more towards you.
Jessie says she wants to go sometime. She'd have to request off, but she'd love to come with us. You're supposed to contact her so we can talk. You guys can talk more and figure things out. She have to plan it for a weekend when she doesn't have her kid.
All right. You were gonna say something before we go any further?
Yeah,
Just that.
yeah.
Okay. All right. The next one is Eagle Road Cemetery in Juneau, Wisconsin. Check the distance.
Yeah.
It says much of the speculation at the cemetery has a religious base. Visitors said they've seen visions of the Virgin Mary and felt inexplicable gusts of cold wind when they're praying. I personally want that because of my personal relationship with the Blessed Mother. But remember what I've always taught you kids. The devil comes in many forms. He can come to you as anything that you desire, anything that you wish for, anything that you feel you need in your life.
Past
Everybody
family
thinks,
member,
huh?
past family member.
Yeah.
You know, like it can be.
Everybody thinks the devil has red horns and a red cape and a tail and has a pitchfork, but he can come to you as money. He can come to you as a car. He can come to you as thoughts. He can come to you as a new boyfriend or girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He can be anything or anyone that he wants to be. So we have to be very, very careful not to be fooled by demonic entities.
Juneau County is like 2 hours, 10 minutes away.
We'll look up Eagle Road Cemetery in Juneau and see how far of a hitch that is from here to there. Because I don't care. Like I said, I'll do a night or two away from home.
So when you look up Eagle Road Cemetery in Juneau, it comes up as Tabor Cemetery. So maybe they changed the name.
That's a very good possibility.
Whatever, but it's only an hour away.
Oh, shit. We could do 2 in a day.
Oconomowoc is there. And
So why don't we hit that place on Sunday?
I mean, it says it's in Juneau, Wisconsin. It's only 40 miles from here.
If any of you seen the videos from the last field trip that we took, our last weekend adventure, let me know in the comments after the show. Huh?
1 hour.
Okay. Let me know in the comments after the show or private message me and let me know if this, sounds interesting to you. I don't want to be doing stuff that nobody's interested in seeing or hearing. But I really liked the whole premise of taking the show on the road. You know what I mean? And actually getting out and having our weekend adventures. This weekend we can hit 2 on Sunday, the Oconomowoc one and the one in Juneau, if Maria's up for it. But then next weekend we really can't do much because you're going to be in Minnesota for the family get together.
Yeah.
But after that, I'd still like to continue traveling. I want to get as much in as I can before we're trapped here under 7 feet of snow, That's the only disadvantage of living in the Midwest. I mean, the snows are brutal, The wind, and even when there's no snow, it's so damn cold out there, your nipples slide down your pant legs, All right. The next one is St. Kilian's Catholic Cemetery in Lake Geneva, which is not far from us.
No, that's right over there.
It says the nearby church burned down, and it's said that the priest haunts this area. It said you can hear the phantom ringing of the old church bell and hear the footsteps of the priest as he wanders for eternity. I mean, nothing horribly scary, but I want to check out all these things and see what we pick up. We could actually hear or see or capture on our EMF and EVP. And for those of you that don't know, EMF is electromagnetic fields, and that lets us know through this meter if it's picking up on any spirit activity. The presence of a spirit. The EVP is electro voice phenomenon, and that actually picks up on sound. So, and the equipment that we have, it says actual words. So who knows? We could pick up something that somebody might have missed, or a new sound, or a new spirit, or, spirits don't always interact with everybody that they see. You know, you could have 12 paranormal investigators go out to this one spot, the same spot, and 11 of them get nothing, but the 12th one could be like, well, I got this, this, and this, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same with like people that we meet. We could walk into church and find people that we just don't jive with, or go to a party and there's just somebody there that just you don't want to talk to. But then there's other times it's like you've known each other your whole life.
Yeah.
All right. The next one is Oak Hill Cemetery in Janesville, Wisconsin.
Jesse wants to know if we're only going to places in Wisconsin.
This summer, yeah, because if I were a rich man,
Yeah.
diddle digga 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 diddle diddle dum. You know, I am not a rich person, and we're just going to stay local this year because A, Missy's pregnant, and she has high risk pregnancies. Mason is in school for his EMT stuff. You know, and I just got to be here. I got to be close to family this year. Oak Hill's an hour away. All right. That one says, excuse me. Oak Hill Cemetery in Janesville, Wisconsin says visitors say they've seen a ghostly woman figure and flashing lights here. The fact that the ghostly figure has been seen in different locations definitely makes people want to stay away. What's going on? Oh, okay. Okay. So that's how far away? Oak Hill's an hour, you said?
Yep.
All right. Forest Hill Cemetery in the Wisconsin Rapids. No, Wisconsin Rapids, I think that's way up north.
What's it called?
Forest Hill Cemetery in Wisconsin Rapids. Anyway, it says folks here say they've heard babies crying and young voices calling out to them. The mausoleum has experienced a number of accidents with things being pushed over or falling. Now that's right up my alley. I'm grooving on that one.
Yeah, see, like I'm more of a
Forest Hill Cemetery and Mausoleum.
Yeah,
2 hours, 40 minutes away.
yeah.
I'm more of like a visual, like when they knock things over and when they, you know, like voices, yeah, that's cool. Talk on the EVP
But
thing, do
if I-
this, do that.
If I'm not mistaken, this is one that has a baby section of the cemetery,
Mhm.
and that's why they're hearing the babies crying there.
Yeah, I mean, most cemeteries have like,
Yeah, but no, this one is dedicated just to babies,
yeah.
you know?
The one in Waukesha has that West Paul cemetery that I took Delilah to.
Uh-huh.
It has like an area of just like
Oh,
miscarriages and babies lost at birth type.
well, the
area.
reason I just went is because this one that I really wanted to go to, it's right here in Waukesha County. It's Tabernacle Cemetery. It says the cemetery is so well known for its hauntings that it's not long. It says not longer, but they mean no longer open to the public. Visions of a ghost by the entrance, as well as flashes of lights, seem to be examples of the spooky happenings here.
Well,
That's
wish I-
Tabernacle. That's the one that Dad was telling me about.
I need to find out where that one is because we have extended family through marriage, divorce
Uh-huh.
in a lot of the cemeteries in Waukesha. So, I mean, I can gain access that way.
But it says visitors are no longer welcome.
You
So,
can
like-
still visit your family.
Yeah, you can still visit your family. They're just saying, like, if you've got no
Alright.
business being there, you got no business being there.
Okay, this one I have a personal connection to. It's Forest Home Cemetery in Milwaukee. Rocky's buried there, and quite a few other people that I know. It says this large cemetery in Milwaukee is the final resting place of many prominent Wisconsin folks dating back to 1850. Forest Home is located over an ancient Native American burial ground. Visitors say they've had all kinds of eerie experiences with some and chalk it up to having disturbed the burial ground.
Yeah.
That one's local, so we can do that, in conjunction with another one or two during the day.
Uh-huh.
And we can do them during the week too. Well, oh wait, you can't. Yeah, it's always going to have to be a weekend. I keep forgetting.
Well, I mean, I can do it during the week after, say, 5 or 6.
Yeah, I don't want to put too much on Tanner. Okay, the next one is Glen Beulah Cemetery in Glen Beulah, Wisconsin.
Okay.
It's Glen.
No, that's good.
Oh, okay. Fine.
But I mean, it'd be no different going on a weekday than it would me,
Yeah,
going to work
that's true.
one night or anything. So
This one says, dating back more than 200 years, the oldest graves here are the source of speculation. Folks say the stones are warm to the touch and sometimes have a ghostly pair of shoes nearby. Legends say a man hung himself here and that his apparition continues to live on.
so what's with the shoes?
I know.
Sandy, I'm gonna need you to send me these so I can print up all the stuff at my house,
Okay.
and then I can start doing like more research on each thing and finding out more information. Not too much where we go in already like with a lot of knowledge about it, because I mean it's kind of fun to go into it blindly too. So.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like actually doing.
But there's just some things that you kind of want answers to, like.
This is the same one. I'm on a different website now. Okay, there's Dartford Cemetery located in Green Lake, and that's where Dad spent his summers every year as a kid.
Yeah.
This cemetery is so scary, it was actually featured on the Discovery Channel show, A Haunting. People say this place is haunted by deceased Civil War soldiers and children who died from polio. People have reported seeing dark, shadowy figures, as well as reporting the sensation of being followed. That's freaking cool. I can't wait to do that one.
Green Lake is approximately an hour and 42 minutes.
Did you look up Dartford Cemetery? Because, we can't just go
Yeah.
by where the city is.
That is an hour and 43 minutes away.
Okay. The next one is the Riverside Cemetery located in Appleton. That's the same one we were talking about with
Yeah.
Kate Blood. Burlington Cemetery is right down the road. Visitors at this cemetery have reported a strange feeling of being watched or seen. Some people have even said that they felt spooked or chased out.
I've been to that cemetery several times.
Uh-huh. Doesn't mean we can't go again.
No, I'm just saying, we were there to visit
Uh-huh.
and bury whatever. Like we'd go there to visit, like whoever we had to visit there,
Yeah.
and you definitely felt like people were watching and then we'd be sitting there and you'd hear like leaves crunching, so it kind of felt like people were walking up on you, but then you turn around, there's nobody there. It's definitely
Sorry, I just kicked the garbage can over at you.
that one's definitely something I've picked up on stuff there.
This one is called Lawrence Cemetery. And it says, now this cemetery is pretty spooky. Witnesses have said that they have seen orbs as well as eerie lights. Others have reported a strange fog about the cemetery, and others have heard growling and other bizarre noises.
Where is that? Is that the Pierre, Wisconsin?
It just says Lawrence Cemetery.
Okay, so I looked that one up. That's about 2 hours away.
Okay. let's see what else we have here. Bear with me. All right, Forest Hill Cemetery. That's one we just read about. We're also going to be going to Park Falls, Wisconsin. That's where Ed Gein was buried, at the Park Falls
Yeah.
cemetery there. And because we have GPS, we don't have to worry about getting lost or anything like that. And we don't have to communicate with the town folk because I guess they won't
Yeah,
be
you
too happy
definitely
that we're
don't.
there.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to tell them what you're out there for.
Yeah.
Out there.
What else? I had several here. Bear with me.
What I would really find interesting to do
Uh-huh.
is see if we can find out an exact date on like when that bloody bride thing happened on that bridge.
Yeah.
You know, like when she got killed,
Yeah,
and go there on that day.
that would be something, but since there's no official record of it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and we know how small towns like to cover things up.
Well, that area was more open. It was those side hillbilly towns that was hills have eyes type situation going on, and I'd rather drive to Milwaukee unarmed than go back into those neighborhoods. But
Not me. I will always have my little
I
friend
mean,
with
at
me.
least in Milwaukee, you're not being chased out by some three-eyed midget that is on a freaking UTV.
Have you seen Milwaukee lately?
Yes, I was just there last night, and
The hills have eyes have overflowed into Milwaukee, you know? Anyway, here's a good one. It's called Spiritland Cemetery. So look, outside of, a few miles outside of Plainfield, Wisconsin. It says, various writings claim that the quiet graveyard a few miles outside of Plainfield got its name because long ago a grieving husband would frequent his wife's grave there where he was able to commune with her spirit. I think they mean communicate. But why are the spirits restless in Spiritland? Some believe it's because between 1945 and 1957, this cemetery was one of three where Ed Gein would go to dig up freshly buried bodies for his ghoulish hobbies. Since their graves have been disturbed, the dead have been unable to find peace.
See, and it looks like such a cute little quiet cemetery.
Well, why do you think he went there? He doesn't go looking for, like the old show that was on TV back in the 60s, Dark Shadows, where, Boris Karloff will be.
But it's only 2 hours, 18 minutes away.
Okay. How far away is Whitewater?
Whitewater is about 40 minutes away.
Okay, because it says it's called the Witch's Triangle of Whitewater. There are so many legends of witchcraft in Whitewater that it has come to be known as the Second Salem. An old stone water tower in Starren Park is at the center of these many legends, where some believe witches were buried and rituals are still carried out to this day. But it's the city's three cemeteries, Calvary, Oak Grove, and Hillside, that form the Witch's Triangle. All land and buildings within the triangle are believed to be haunted in Whitewater, and this is where the area's disturbing historical legends reside. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit more about each of the cemeteries that I want to visit there in the triangle. The first one is called Calvary Cemetery. Yeah, I can talk. I did. Calvary Cemetery. The Horan family moved to Whitewater in 1880. Within 4 years, All but Nellie were dead. Father and mother were the first to go. The majority of their money was left to the youngest daughter, Agnes, who was, not surprisingly, the next to go. There were only two daughters left, Nellie and Annie. When the latter succumbed to the same fate as befell the others, suspicion fell on Nellie when a chemical analysis revealed strychnine in her sister's stomach. Nellie's motive to be the sole recipient of her parents' estate was clear, but when a witness came forward who saw Nellie purchase a quantity of the strychnine just a few days prior to Annie's death, Nellie knew the secrets of her murderous scheme were unraveling. According to the news reports from the time, Nellie decided death would be better than facing the consequences, and she consumed the remaining poison herself. Before the final throes carried her from this world, the reports say Nellie confessed to poisoning her entire family, as well as one other victim who remains unidentified to this day. The truth is, Nellie was prosecuted for the murder of her family, but the jury acquitted her because they didn't believe she could commit such a monstrous act. She married and lived a long life, finally dying in 1938 at the age of 77 or 78. Nellie Horan's grave can be found in Whitewater's Cavalry Cemetery. Okay.
Is that the same place like her sister's buried too then?
Probably, wouldn't they? And the weird thing is, I used to hang around with two sisters, Kelly and Tracy Horan, back in the day.
Mm.
I wonder if they're related at all.
Distant relatives, because that doesn't seem like a very popular last name. You know, like if it was Smith or something, it'd be different, but...
Okay, Hillside Cemetery. In 1889, the Morris Pratt Institute was established in Whitewater to study spiritualism. Residents called it the Spook Temple. There, spiritualists used seances, talking boards, planchets, and other methods to pierce the veil and communicate with the dead. Did these conjurations leave the town full of restless spirits? The grave of Morris Pratt himself can be found in the Hillside Cemetery. Legendary axe murderer and self-professed witch Mary Worth, who some believe cursed the town, is also said to reside in a crypt there.
Wasn't it that curse, that like thing that you do when you were little, like
Mary Worth.
Yeah,
Mary
you chant
Worth.
her name, and then like an axe would like.
I thought.
Yeah, that's the one.
I thought Bloody Mary's name was Mary Worth.
Bloody Mary is a separate one. That's the one where you go in the mirror.
Yeah, I know, but I thought that's what her name was.
But Mary Worth, you're supposed to be able to lay in a dark room.
Look it up real quick.
Well, I remember doing this at sleepovers. Why do you think I stopped going to sleepovers? Because they turn off the lights and they all start chanting her name. And even if you were saying it or not, you would see like an axe appear in the room, and then you'd see like her bloody face. And yeah, I stopped going to sleepovers. That was too much. That was too much for my little 9-year-old mind to take.
Another one of the three cemeteries that form the Witch Triangle is Oak Grove Cemetery. According to legend, a coven of witches used to conduct rituals in the Oak Grove Cemetery in the 1800s. The cemetery is now closed to the public. Damn it. The coffin of a baby girl was dug up from one of these cemeteries and left on the stairs of a building at the nearby UW Whitewater campus during the week of Halloween 1970. You can join in, you can join in on the annual October Ghost Tour in Whitewater, which takes participants inside many of these typically closed locations, such as the Witch's Tower, Mary Worth's Crypt, and Oak Grove Cemetery.
What?
Then you F.
Somebody better be standing by the door. We need to hire a bodyguard for that door because if it slams shut.
Parking a car in front of that
So
door.
we can only go to 2 out of 3,
But I mean, that tour thing sounds kind of.
but that's not until October.
Yeah, but
I mean, we could go back in
Don't have to
October.
visit all 3 in one day.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we can do that tour thing too.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it's only 40 minutes away.
All right.
Do
Another
it
one.
earlier in October.
This is the last one I'm going to read aloud. It's the Renzi Cemetery in Fond du Lac. It says William Talmadge, the son of Wisconsin Territory Governor Nathaniel Potter Talmadge, was just 19 years old when he died on June 12, 1845. He was buried in a spot he had picked only 2 weeks earlier, upon the top of a hill on his family's land, which they called Renzi Hill. Nathaniel found solace in the beliefs and practices of spiritualism when the movement began not long after. Many of Nathaniel's experiences communicating with the dead through various mediums were recorded in the 1853 book Spiritualism, Volume 1. He wrote that his youngest daughter, then 13, quote, plays the piano on the instruction of the spirits, end quote. She had never played piano before in her life and had no understanding of notes, he claimed, until one day she sat down at the keys and played Beethoven's Grand Waltz. The gravestone of Nathaniel's wife, Abby, born into spirit life, is there also. The same year Spiritualism was published, Talmadge donated the hill and the surrounding 8.5 acres of his farm for use as a public cemetery. Since then, Renzi has become the final resting place of Civil War generals, senators, congressmen, athletes, musicians, and depending on who you ask, witches. Okay, did it say that you can't go to Witch's Circle?
No.
Okay, because I want to go to this too. It says Witch's Circle. At the very back of the cemetery stands a lone monument and a plot marked by 4 small cornerstones. This, according to legend, is the Witch's Circle. As the story goes, nuns from a religious order known as the Sisterhood of the Nativity were getting pregnant and performing witchcraft. The women were excommunicated from the church and upon their deaths buried in unconsecrated ground at the back of the cemetery. Some claim to have found a witch's house somewhere in the woods behind the circle. The old stone receiving vault is said to contain a glowing portal to hell that opens at night. Fuck yeah, we're going.
My pregnant self for staying home on that one. I don't want to perform no rituals on me.
Mason's over there
Maybe
quoting lines from the movie Legion. So what do you guys think? We're going to have to map it out and see how many we can do in one day without like rushing through it.
Or even just like have a whole weekend, like Saturday and Sunday, map it out and be like, okay, Saturday we're going to drive, go up here, come across, go down. Sunday we're going to go over here, do this, like whatever.
Well, good. You're in charge of mapping it out over there, Magellan.
I'm not good at that. I'd have us ping-ponging all over the place.
I mean, you just got to do what you got to do. We have several things to take into consideration. This is Wisconsin. It could snow tomorrow for all we freaking know. God forbid, please. I don't want any snow.
It can cool off a little bit, but I mean, no snow.
Tomorrow's going to be in the 70s.
Yeah, tomorrow's only going to be in the 70s.
The following week, the low is 89.
Yeah, next week, the lowest temperature during the day is going to be 89. But yeah, I know. We spend all winter closed up with the heat on, all the windows closed, all the doors closed, trying to keep our temperature at 72 degrees so we don't freeze to death. And then in the summertime, everybody wants to run in the house and turn on the air conditioners and lock all the windows and doors. I am not up for that. That's why I want to get out and do road trips. I get cabin fever so bad I could become one of those psycho people, standing in the shower. Neat, 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 neat.
Borderline me today, so.
Hey, it's a Wisconsin thing, We come from a state filled with serial killers, so.
Serial killers and depression.
Well, that's because of the weather in the Midwest. The Midwest sucks. If I lived in Florida, I'd be, or well, not California. California can sink. If I lived in, Florida,
You'd be eaten by an alligator.
oh hell no,
Eat him with a frying pan.
I'd be a happy girl. That's
Carry
my
a frying
kind of
pan in your
weather.
back pocket? Oh,
And I'd love to live in Georgia. I'd love to have, one of those plantation style homes and just have all that, sprawling acreage and yeah, lucky Sarah.
She said, like days it's like 104 degrees in Georgia. It's not like the
They don't have
104 it
the-
is out here,
the
like the
heat we have.
humidity and
Yeah.
stuff that we have here. They don't have it there. It's more of a dry heat, which is
Suffocating?
no. She said it's real comfortable. Like
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess the humid would be more suffocating.
yeah, she said it's a real comfortable. Like you can go outside in
Not in
104.
Atlanta. It ain't. In Atlanta, I guess your balls stick to your legs.
Sarah's in Georgia. She said walk outside 104 degrees and t-shirt and pair of shorts and
Mm-hmm.
I need to take a minute here.
I'd never go near Atlanta anyways.
Yeah, no, that's worse than Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a minute here and send out my sympathies to William Crooks. I guess recently he lost his dog. And to Alan Gunnar Lindblom, who lost a very precious cat. I send out my heartfelt sympathy. I know how you feel. I lost a German Shepherd that was my baby. I had him for 13 years, and he was my entire world. That dog protected me with everything he had. And when I had to put him down, he fought it. I mean, he was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving you. And that nearly killed me. But now I've got Goliath, and he's my first German Shepherd. Well, he's not my first, but my last German Shepherd, Radar. Goliath is Radar's nephew. So they're from the same bloodline. And I believe that Radar's spirit actually led me to Goliath. Hey, I love both of my dogs. They were my whole world. And I hope you guys find peace. I'm going to pray that you find peace in your heart. And I don't know. I mean, Gunnar still has Moggy, I believe, the black and white cat. And that cat is beautiful. A big, fluffy, fat furball cat. But, yeah, so.
Just your pets do come back and visit.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
I lost Mushi almost 2 years ago. And, I vacuum and mop several times a day, having kids and toddlers and infants and now a puppy. But Mushi was she was a very long-haired cat, very rare, breed cat. But I'll wake up and all of a sudden there's, one of Mushi's fur balls just sitting there on the floor. How? How did you get here? Or one of her cat toys that she didn't play with them. I'd buy her toys and she'd take them and just hide them. Well, now all of a sudden one of her little mouse toys just showed up.
Mhm.
Those have been, except for the two that I saved, which were the last toys that I bought her,
Mhm.
and I put them up by her urn. All her other toys I threw away because I didn't want that trigger to be around because I took that hard.
Yeah.
I was pregnant with Lyric when I lost her. And so I threw away all those toys, and all of a sudden there's this orange mouse laying on my living room floor last night. Okay.
Well, it's like Radar. He weighed 135 pounds in his prime, and he wasn't fat. He's a very large breed German Shepherd.
Big boned.
Big boned boy. And so the chain around his neck was like a tow chain, and he had his rabies tag, and I forgot what other tag he had on there, but they would jingle. And not even a week ago, I swear to God, I heard him coming up the stairs,
Which he never would have done.
which he never
No.
would have done because he was the downstairs
At
dog.
most, he put his
Yeah.
front paws on that like first step,
Mhm.
Yep.
but that was at most that he would do.
Yeah, but I swore I heard him coming because I could hear the tags and the metal chain around his neck. you
Well, like
know.
sometimes we can hear Mooshie running around upstairs. She'd get zoomies like the dogs do,
Oh yeah.
and you could hear her jump off my bed, and she was a thickum girl,
Mhm.
so you heard her jump off that bed, and then pitter patter down the stairs, and I jumped up and I'm like, who's coming down my stairs?
Yeah.
There's nobody there.
Poet, the newest addition to my family, the little tiny black kitten I have, she actually yells at Dad and tells him when it's bedtime. She's the weirdest cat I've ever met. She
Yeah.
sleeps all night.
Mooshie was too. They're like, oh, cats are nocturnal. Mooshie slept through the night. She was up during the day.
Yeah.
The kittens that I had after Mooshie, Maleficent and Aurora. Maleficent would curl up with Delilah, and then Aurora would cuddle up with Maverick.
Yeah.
And as soon as they would tell you, like it was bedtime, they wanted to go to bed and they needed their human there to go to sleep,
Yep.
and they would scream at you until you went to bed.
If Dad's out in the kitchen, Poet's in there meowing until he comes in there, and then she's like yelling at him that it's bedtime. And as soon as he crawls into the bed, she jumps right up there and she cuddles into him and goes to sleep for
Yep.
the night.
Yep.
So, anything else we want to add? You look exhausted. How long have you been up? Normal amount of time?
You look exhausted. How many days have you been up?
No, I
Like
just
hours.
I just saw what I have to do for clinicals and
Yeah.
finding a 12 bridge.
I saw that one really cool one last night. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't do bridges. Thank you very much.
That one was cool. But
Going
it's a walkable.
when we took that wrong turn from Prairie du Chien, and we started going across this bridge, and it said, "Welcome to Iowa." I made you guys do a U-turn right on the bridge. We are Audi 500.
Well, and it didn't help that GPS says, "Look, turn left here."
It was turned right.
It was turn right.
Turn right, and there's the
Water.
frickin-
the guardrail.
Yeah, water. GPS trying to kill us.
Yeah.
Whole car of us.
Anyway, so that's what we've got going on. It sounds like we have a lot of places that we're going to be seeking out and trying to debunk some of these stories or possibly add to it. But I'd like to get it all documented, be it recording, devices or video recorders or what have you, even pictures. And I want to document it and share it with the world, So if anybody wants to contact me, you can email me at nikkiluciano@yahoo.com, or you can private message me, or I don't know, I'll see you on Facebook. All right, everybody, try to have a good night, and please be kind to each other.